Hello, Facebook Live. Hello to those of you catching this on the replay. If you're watching this on the replay, hit hashtag replay. Maggie here, sitting in the rain in my car, just contemplating some things as I was driving into town today. And I was thinking about relationships. And I was thinking about, tonight I'm getting ready to fellowship with a group of women. Most of them I have not seen in a long time. A lot of us, went to the same church at one point, was in small groups together, prayed together, laughed together, cried together. And now, we don't see much of each other. So I'm wondering how many of you out there transition into different levels of your life. And, friends to me are like stars. You don't always see them, but they're there. So I have been blessed over the years to have many women in my life. Matter of fact, hey, Tammy, hey, Abigail, thanks for logging on. Some of the women logging on here now, what up? I've known for a long time. Here's an example. Tammy, gosh, when I first moved to Murfreesboro, we fellowshiped together, at the carpenter's house back in like 05, 06, something like that. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is that you have to be on purpose with relationships. And what does on purpose look like? On purpose looks like staying engaged in relationships. What's up, Abigail? Good to see you, girl. Seeing the people that you love and care about, trying to be intentional. Now, me, I'm extremely busy. And I'm always making statements to people like, oh my gosh, I don't have time for that. I've got to do this. Hey, Daniel, thanks for logging on. So I'm talking about cultivating relationships within people that that you don't always see. And you have to be intentional on that. I'm thinking about even, my grandkids today, I got to FaceTime with them, and I think about how busy we get and so forth. And you have to be intentional. You have to reach out to people that you love and care about. You have to make time to do those things. So when I was originally invited to this, I looked at my calendar. Hey, Alan, thanks for logging on, brother. Hey, Martha, good to see you, girlfriend. So when I originally committed to coming out to this, sister meeting, it's a girls' night in. I love that, because then I can just be laid back. It's not a girls' night out. It's a girls' night in. So it's going to be some major fellowshipping going on and prayer and so forth. And I just love that. But before I committed to it, I looked at my calendar and I felt really overwhelmed. I thought, I can't squeeze that in. And then I thought for a moment, wait a minute. If I'm not intentional to do these things. And some of these women, it's funny, I was talking to Susan a while ago, and Susan and I was talking about, it's like a little family reunion kind of, if you would, because there's women that we have not seen in a while. So if you are in a relationship, or if you had relationships, let me rephrase that. If you had relationships where you were formally in a small group, or if you were in relationships with people that you were in a prayer group or a parachurch or a physical church, or if you were just friends from your kids going to soccer together, or if you grew up together. There could just be a whole bunch of different types of relationship dynamics, but make sure that you're intentional with relationships, okay? Because people, that we need each other as a whole. We know that we do better together, and it's just really important sometimes to take the time out to fellowship with people. And, sometimes we don't do that enough. Sometimes we do it too much, and then we don't have time to get things done. So you got to find a balance in that. You can't every time, Sister Susie calls and is like, there's a sale of Kohl's and let's roll, or, somebody's constantly pulling you away from your responsibilities. But I'm talking about times where it is a situation where you can find the time to fellowship with people and let them know they matter. So the woman that's having this gathering and hosting this gathering is super precious. And I haven't seen her in a while, with the exception of a recent event at the Gap. But the reality is that you have to be intentional with your relationships. You have to be intentional with your time, but you have to take time out to do the things that are important. So with that being said, I encourage you guys, make a difference. Make a difference in a relationship. Reach out to an old friend or someone that you know and love, and send them a message. Let them know they care. I tell people all the time, the statement is true, that relationships and friendships relationships are like stars. You don't always see them, but you know that they're there. But sometimes you got to make a point of seeing them. And sometimes you got to let them know that you're there. Hey, sweet Rachel, there's another amazing woman of God. So sometimes you have to let them know that you're there, so that whenever times get tough and you're trying to rely and lean on people, then you need to know. You need to know that there are people in your corner. There are people praying for you. There are people cheering you on. So be intentional with your relationships. I'm just rambling here, sitting in the car. I'm going to go ahead and get in here and get my tea in there while the rain is lightened up. I'll see you later. Ciao.